So, Echo,
Yeah.
why don't you go ahead and talk about how we can support this podcast, if we want to.
If we want to. And support yourself if we want to, which we do, by the way. So, we talk about on it, supplements. Physical and mental, by the way. So I think, I don't know if we failed to mention this or we just been mentioning it a little bit less, which is Alpha Brain. I feel like we haven't talked about Alpha Brain that much recently. Been taking it, by the way, but not talking about it. This is good. Okay, so it's a they call it nootropic or nootropic?
Something like
nootropic, something like that. Helps your brain. Nutrients to your brain, boom, directly. So 2 forms. The instant, it's like powder. You mix it up with your Gatorade or whatever.
No, you don't need to mix it with Gatorade. It doesn't. You can mix it on its own.
Right.
There's 2 flavors, by the way.
Oh, dang.
There's peach and then there's natural spice. And
dig it.
The 2 flavors taste exactly like what they're named. Peach tastes like peach.
Yeah.
And natural spice, got a little natural spice kick to it. But it's got a little peach, but it's got a little natural spice too.
Right. Dang, I didn't know there's 2 flavors.
Yeah, I have both. That's why.
What is this one? This one is natural spice.
That's natural spice, yeah.
Dig it. Boom.
But they taste sweet.
Right.
So you don't need to mix it with Gatorade, and you shouldn't be having Gatorade anyways because it's just a bunch of sugar in water.
Maybe not a bunch, but we'll say some. Some electrolytes in there. Nonetheless, mix it with whatever you want, man. Or just pour it into your mouth. It's powder. That's the thing compared to the capsules.
Yep.
Whatever you like. The powder one is called instant, so it goes to your brain quicker. That's just an assumption. Nonetheless, here, this is what it does, which is cool. So you know how you're talking to somebody and you blank out on something like somebody's name.
No.
Whatever, bro.
It already happened today. Yeah. It happened today because you gave me a word.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happened before.
Wait, before we were recording?
No, while we were recording live.
Acquaintance.
Yes, acquaintance. I didn't have enough Alpha Brain.
No, that was before we were recording, I think.
No.
All right, well, there it is. Either way, that's what it does.
You need more Alpha Brain now.
No, I think you do. I think I'm right because I took 2 of these and I think that I'm correct. Nonetheless, doesn't even matter because what it does is it makes you do that actually you don't even do it. And maybe that's something about some kind of deficiency when that happens. When they call them brain farts. I'm having a brain fart. You don't get brain farts.
It's a cosmic shame.
It's like Gas X for your brain, essentially. You know how like Gas X, you know what that does, right? So you don't do that. You don't have to think of words anymore. They just come, boom, for real.
Now, I kind of don't want to bring this up, but I will anyways, because I don't want to give people bias. You can tell me what cognitive bias this is. But if you heard people like your brother Jade, who says when he takes Alpha Brain, his dreams get all crazy.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I've talked to other people that get more vivid dreams.
Right.
With the Alpha Brain.
Yeah.
So that's another thing just to be aware of.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to. What kind of cognitive bias is that?
That's not a cognitive bias.
Availability bias, because I said it and now you're waiting for it, and so now you have a vivid dream and you think it's the Alpha Brain. That's what I mean.
Oh, right. That's a placebo effect.
Yeah, I guess, but you're attributing it to something. You're attributing it to Alpha Brain.
Oh yeah, huh?
So, anyways,
that is a bias.
You may notice that your dreams become more vivid. Yeah. I don't notice it. But I've heard some people say it. I think I heard Joe Rogan talking about it.
Yeah, I heard a bunch, and Jade is one of those people.
Yeah, Jade definitely said it.
He said it before I even heard anyone else say it. He was like, "Oh, that's like a good thing." He didn't. It wasn't a complaint, too. That's the thing.
Lucid dreaming.
But yeah, I like.
I don't have lucid dreams. I have savage nightmares. Is what I have, and I wake up in a pool of sweat, and it's just get some.
An Alpha Brain fueled savage nightmare.
Yeah, don't need that.
Yeah, we're not gonna visit that one. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you. But the benefit that I am going to claim, and it's proven too, by the way, in a double-blind placebo test. Official Alpha Brain helps with your recall, your memory and all that stuff, which that's essentially what it is when you think about it.
Yeah.
When you forget one word, boom, that recall, boom, 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 it's just firing. That's how Alpha Brain. So yeah, if you're about to do something where you got to think and talk a lot, which is everything, get on that Alpha Brain, man. You'd be glad you did. I took what I used to do a lot. So before I knew how to switch to manual mode, regardless, I would take pre-workout and Alpha Brain, and it helped. It was money. Yeah. Actually got one of my better workouts on that little formula, so I just kept doing it. But you know how you do something over and over again, whether physiologically or otherwise, you tend to lose that.
Yeah, it's like if you take caffeine all the time.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, in a way, it's the same thing.
Although they say Alpha Brain's like, take it all the time.
Right.
Take it on the regular. Let it be in the blood.
Yeah, so mine less had to do with like the direct effect of Alpha Brain and my memory and recall. It was more about the kind of workout I got, you know?
That's placebo, by the way.
It's maybe not, though. That's the thing. Or maybe I was just thinking of more cool stuff, you know? So it was more enjoyable workout. Could have been that.
Perhaps.
Maybe not. Nonetheless, we can stick to the evidence and the proof. You'll recall stuff better. And memorize things better.
It's good.
All day, every day. Also, I got that strong bone. Remember a few weeks back? I was like, hey, what the hell's a strong bone?
Now you have the facts.
You're all on that. Yeah, I have the facts. Strontium. It's one of those things. Right. Here's the thing, too. You read the thing. So calcium that's the flagship element. Mineral element, whatever. Calcium, that's the one that gets all the credit for your bones. It's like, you know, the strontium is like the stepchild, like as far as recognition, but strontium is super important, and you lose that, you know, when you get old and whatever. But that's what strong bone is.
Yeah.
You think
strontium.
Yeah. You think it's strong bone, makes your bones strong, which I think that's on purpose too. It's like a little play on words.
You think so?
I think so. You know? Aubrey, he's smart like that. Anyway, take that strong bone. I did it because, as you know, I got bicep surgery. Tendon on my bicep ripped off my bone. So if I'm still lifting, I still do curls. Whatever, I said it. I don't need that thing ripping off. I don't need tendonitis. I don't need problems. I don't need issues. I got on that strong bone. Also, I take krill oil. Jocko, do you take krill oil?
Affirmative.
I think you've been taking krill oil longer than I haven't.
Decades.
And when I say I think, it means I know.
Yep, long time.
Even though I've been hearing about great things about krill oil from day one. So anyway, on the krill oil, that helps with joints. It gives you this feeling. I said this before. I will say it again. It gives you this feeling where, and this is physically, it's not emotionally.
Feelings are emotional, just FYI.
Yeah. No, feeling though. If I flick your finger, you're going to feel that.
True. Yeah.
So I
stand corrected.
Yeah. No, all good. You feel like if you're sitting down for a long time and then
like
you
right now?
stand up. Yeah.
While you talk about on it.
When I stand when I stand up, well, you're on krill oil, so this applies to you too. When we stand up, if Greg Train was here, like we were like a few weeks ago, if Greg Train was right, he wasn't on the krill oil, we all stand up after the same amount of time, 2 hours-ish, he will be compelled to be like, oh, make that sound. Not crazy, but he'll be compelled to make that sound. Whether he makes it or not, he's going to feel like making it. Me, I won't. You won't. Krill oil makes your joints young again, for lack of a better term. Anyway, it helps though. Yes, but if you, in all seriousness, if you are like lifting weights, going hard.
Yeah, take krill oil.
Yeah, take the krill oil.
Where would one get it?
Do that. Onit.com. If you want 10% off, you go onit.com/Jocko. It's the best krill oil too. That's the thing. You can get lame krill oil anywhere. Maybe not anywhere, but in other places, we'll say. But the real deal, the good stuff, is on it.
You don't want to get lame krill oil from lame krill.
Yeah.
You want the hardcore krill.
It's true. Do you know how like acai berries?
Yeah.
You can get junk acai, like the reject acai, and paid like cheaper.
Yeah,
actually, the krill oil
stuff.
is actually a super good price anyway. And you get 10% off from onit.com/Jocko. That's the 10% off part. Nonetheless, back to the acai berries. You can get the junk kind and try to taste junk acai berries and then taste good acai berries. Bro, the difference is like, you can tell the difference big time. It's like night and day. Same thing with the krill oil. Take the good one, man. Forget the lame one. It's just my opinion. Anyway, another good way to support podcasts. Amazon click-through. All you do before you do any of your Amazon shopping, click through the website, jockospodcast.com.
I got a little hint from somebody in the field that said, hey, when you tell people to do Amazon click-through, What you should tell them is to tell their significant other to click through. For instance, in my case, my wife buys more things on Amazon than I do. I'm in the game. I'm supporting the podcast.
Sure.
But what if my wife doesn't know about the click through?
Right.
She needs to get in the game.
Yeah, double the support right there.
Don't just you do it. Get your family, get your wife, get your husband.
Right.
They're not in the game, get them in the game.
Yeah, huh?
Because a lot of times, the other spouse is buying the stuff on Amazon.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to support you.
Right.
They don't know about that website.
Or they're just less compelled, or they forgot.
Yeah.
And you don't really, technically, you don't know if they forgot or not, you know? If you're clever, heard this from Sam Harris. I knew this already, I'm going to be honest, but I heard it to reinforce it, where some people, they will click through, and before they do shopping, they get that little URL, boom, save it to favorites, save it to what do you call it, bookmarks, the tab on the top. So boom, it's there, it's in the front of your head now. It's a good way to support. Small action takes 3 seconds?
If that,
yeah. And huge support. It's like huge reinforcements. Enforcements, actually. That's how strong support it is. Small action, big reaction. Yep, like sodium when you throw it in water. Anyway, subscribe to the podcast if you want. iTunes,
couldn't help
Stitcher,
yourself, could you?
Google Play. Bro, it's the best example you can think of.
Okay.
Really.
You don't need to say anything else, man. You said it. We're good. Over here.
Yeah, I can't think of a better one. Subscribe if you want. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all these podcasting providing platforms. And, you'll get on the list, you click on my podcast, boom, automatic. It'll be there, the new one, updated every week. So you can just click play. You don't got to do the search anymore. When you do that, you go on there and hey, let me see this podcast. You got to search podcast. You got to type it in on your little phone. It's actually not that big of a deal, but it'd be even less of a big deal. If you subscribe, you just click on my podcast, boom, updated automatically right there. So subscribe to the podcast. That's a good way to support. Leave a review if you're in the mood. If Jocko said something extra dope, you're like, hey, I liked that. Leave a review. Feel free. Like, no, I don't want, what do you call that? Muzzle, like what you put on the dogs to stop them from.
Muzzle, yeah.
Yeah. We're not trying to muzzle anybody.
I was thinking about a muzzle over here for some reason too.
See, and it's good that you exercise a no muzzle policy, and I think that policy should extend to anyone who's listening and want to support this podcast. That's what I think, and apparently that's what you think too, and I like that.
Obviously.
Yeah. So subscribe. Also subscribe to YouTube. Yeah, we have a YouTube channel. I know. I say it every week. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it this week. We have a YouTube channel. Video version of this podcast is on the YouTube channel, which is cool, obvious, right? But with strong recommendations from Jocko, from others online, they recommended that you cut out little excerpts, put them on YouTube, even make a playlist, which I did. I did all of that stuff. So there's excerpts on there. If you want to listen to 3 minutes of Jocko's opinion on what home gym, what equipment makes a good home gym, you want to listen to that, boom, it's available right there. How should I approach college? Boom, Jocko's advice right there. So these I think they're actually, the more I kind of look at them and stuff, I think this is a valuable situation. You can share them easy, and people are way more likely to listen to little excerpts than the whole thing if you're trying to get one element of the podcast. So yeah, YouTube, subscribe to that. Good way to support. Also, Jocko has a store called Jocko Store. If you want to wear t-shirts and represent, we got some new ones. We got a new one on there. But regardless of new ones, old ones, whichever, just go in there, see if you like one. Get one. Good way to support. And boom, t-shirt. Also hoodies, rash guards, which are not my words, other people's words. They're pretty dope. So, if you're into activity that you like, range of motion, and you want to represent and you want to support, get a rash guard. Those are good. I did them for jiu-jitsu originally, but bam, if you surf, if you do CrossFit, Metcons, whatnot, cycling, run marathons. I'm listing all the things that people send me pictures of them doing in their rash guard. So that's why I'm going down this list. Other stuff. If you do all that, perfect for that too. Very perfect. can something be very perfect? It's either perfect or not, right?
Yep.
I think, yeah, either way. There's women's stuff on there. Some patches, Velcro, regulation size and color, hoodies as well. Also, maybe the travel mugs are on there. Maybe not. Nonetheless, I'll talk more about the travel mugs later, next time. Also, JockoStore.com. I think I said that, but if there it is. A reminder, JockoStore.com is the website. Okay, good way to support yourself. Psychological warfare. What psychological warfare is, I know, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Psychological warfare is an album with tracks, not music tracks, Jocko tracks. And if you are, I'm starting to not like the word self-improvement. I
already don't like that word.
Right? Yeah, it kind of like...
Never mind starting to.
Yeah, it's kind of...
I already don't like it.
Yeah. I'm to the point I'm like midway through not liking it. The phases is like, boom, boom, you hear something, you're like, okay, that's cool and acceptable. Mid phase is like, that's cool, but I don't like how it sounds when I say it. And then the last phase is you just don't want to hear it. I'm in mid phase, but I'm going to use it, for the greater good. If you're on a self-improvement path, journey is another one of those words, that, you're waking up early, you're doing workouts now consistently, you're consistently eating good.
What about studying and reading and getting smarter too? Don't forget those.
Studying, reading, writing, even anything creative. Man, and that's the thing that jams people up when they're like, hey, I should do this. I should write my ebook, or I should do a journal every day, or whatever, and they'll do it one day and then they just won't do it anymore. That's the thing. So anyway, regardless of what you're doing, these tracks, psychological warfare, these tracks will help you through this at times of weakness. If you're trying to get up in the morning and it's that day, you had a long night and a hard workout that morning that you're looking forward to or not looking forward to, and you're like, I'm just going to snooze, or I'm going to skip the workout. You listen to a certain 1 or 2 or 3 of these tracks, it's Jocko, and he'll get you through that moment of weakness, and you will work out. You will wake up early. 100% probability, with very few, if any, exceptions.
Also, on Amazon, while you're clicking through, you can get some Jocko white tea, which has some pretty good effects. I just pulled a couple reviews out. This one here says, drinking Jocko's white tea has had the following effects on my life. Getting after it, up 55%. Extreme ownership, up 92%. Mm-hmm. And also, by the way, cruising.
Oh, dang.
Up 108%. So that's important. Also, deadlift went from 325 to 555. 20 pull-ups instead of sets of 5. Solid. That's good improvement. Yeah. I don't think anyone would brush that
20
aside.
In a row instead of 5. Yeah, dang. Yeah. That's good.
There's another person that drank the tea, and I thought that this was important because it could happen to other people. Yeah. Okay, so this person bought some Jocko white tea for myself, and my next workout was so aggressive, I got a strongly worded letter from the UN to cease hostilities. So I don't like seeing UN involvement on our workouts, but if you're not careful, it might happen. And also, there's another person. I hadn't talked about front squatting, but one person that has been drinking Jocko white tea is now front squatting about 2,000 pounds. So again, just Jocko white tea, no big deal. Double, triple, quadruple, placebo, ultimate tested, flawless.
See, numbers.
Yeah. So Jocko white tea, man, tastes good, and it is good. Also, right now, Way of the Warrior Kid, it's out. We've been waiting for it. I've been waiting for it. Boom. Thanks everyone for picking it up, getting a copy. If you haven't gotten it yet, get it. You know what? You probably don't. You probably wonder if you need it. Maybe you think you don't need it. So, little excerpt for you. Now, this is young Mark. He couldn't do any pull-ups. He's in 5th grade. Couldn't do any pull-ups.
Sure.
Getting made fun of.
Yeah.
People are laughing at him because he can't do any pull-ups. Mm-hmm. His Uncle Jake, he stays with him for the summer. Uncle Jake's in the SEAL teams. Uncle Jake gets him on the workout program, what you and I commonly refer to as the program. Gets him on the program, and it's been a few weeks now, and Uncle Jake realizes that Mark, he's been doing negatives, and he's been doing assisted pull-ups, and he's been doing the pyramids, but just hanging on the bar, doing all those things, getting ready.
Sure.
And Uncle Jake realizes now he's ready to do his first pull-up. So he says to him, okay, you're going to get on, you're going to do your first pull-up today. And we'll go to back to the book. There you go. He said, giddy up, get on the bar. And here's young Mark. I was filled with fear. Every time I had tried in the past, no matter how hard I pulled, I could never get my chin over the bar. Now, with Uncle Jake standing right here, after all the work he has done with me, I just didn't think I'd be able to do it. I stood there looking up at the bar. Well, what are you waiting for? Said Uncle Jake. I slowly stepped up on the box and reached up for the bar. The bar was cool in my hands. And I noticed something that I hadn't thought about, my grip. In the past, my grip always felt like it was going to slip off the bar. My grip felt different now. It felt strong. I concentrated, and then after taking a big breath, I pulled. And I went up, and up, and up. And soon my chin cleared the top of the bar. Yes, I had done it. I let myself down slowly and dropped off the bar. I looked at my uncle. He had a big smile on his face, a big smile. He was happy, and I was even happier. It felt so good. I looked at Uncle Jake and yelled, "Yeah!" as I curled both my fists towards my shoulder like I'd seen weightlifters do in magazines. And I could actually tell, for the first time in my life, I was starting to get some muscles. Nothing huge, but they were certainly there. "Muscle Man Mark," I shouted, as proud as I could be. Then I saw Uncle Jake's smile disappear. "Hold on there, Muscle Man," said Uncle Jake. I didn't know what was wrong, but something was. "I think it's a bit early for a celebration." "Early? I just did the first pull-up of my life. I think it's the perfect time for a celebration," I told Uncle Jake. "That's a problem," Uncle Jake said. "A problem? Why is a pull-up a problem?" "Not the pull-up, Mark, the celebration. It is way too early for celebrating." "But I just did my first pull-up ever." "But your goal isn't one pull-up. Your goal is 10 pull-ups. You did one. Sure, you have a reason to be happy. One pull-up is better than 0, but it's a long way from 10. No matter what you're doing in life, you can't take your eyes off the long-term goal, especially to celebrate. You can assess. You can try and figure out some lessons learned from what you did right and what you did wrong. You can even do a little celebrating for the small victories. But don't go overboard. You need to keep your head in the game. So come over here, give me a high five, and then get back over there and start doing more work on the pull-up bar. This is only the beginning. I walked over to Uncle Jake, who brought his hand up in the air. I slapped it hard, and he said, "Solid work. Now get back over there and get after it." "Yes, sir," I told him. Just another little lesson from Uncle Jake. You can't get cocky when you make the little achievements. You got to keep your eye on the ball. So that's it. Check out that book. Order it. Way the Warrior Kid. It's a kid's book. That's what they're telling me. I think we all learned a little something from it. I know I learned from writing it. You can also pre-order a book called Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. And we're dialing it in right now. It's going to come out October 17th. It isn't a workout book. It isn't a philosophy book. It isn't a photography book. It isn't a diet book. It's got all those things in there, but how do you categorize it? Where are you going to put it? In the bookstore. Where's it going to be? Where's it going to be on Amazon? You know where it's going to be?
Where?
It's going to be in the Get After It category. And you know what? It's going to be the only book in there. So you can order that one. You can also order Extreme Ownership, of course. If you want to lead and win, you can get that book for you and your team. If you need some leadership training live, you can contact our company, Echelon Front. Echelon Front is a leadership and management consulting business. We teach your company to lead with the same principles of leadership that we learned in combat. So if you want to get us in the game with you, email info@echelonfront.com. We have the Muster002 coming up at the Marriott Grand Marquis, May 4th and 5th. Leadership, strategy, tactics. If you don't make that one, guess what? That's okay. Texas, July 13th and 14th at the Omni Barton Creek Resort and Spa. I'm going to tell you right up, straight up, don't come for the spa. You're not going to see the spa. If you can't make the one in Texas, San Diego, September 14th and 15th. Follow-on operation. We've been there once. We're coming back again. Come get your leadership game on. Improve yourself as a leader and as a person. We'll see you at one of those musters. Look forward to it. When we're not at the musters, we can be found on the interwebs, on Twitter, on Instagram, and we're going to be relaxing on that Facebook. Echo is at Echo Charles, and I am at Jocko Willink. And thanks to everybody for listening and for supporting and for asking these questions and for helping us do what we do. To the military personnel overseas, all of you, our deepest thanks and appreciation for your service and sacrifice. Stay safe. The best way to stay safe is to stay aggressive. To the police, firefighters, EMTs, first responders, thanks for staying sharp, training hard, and standing watch for us here at home. And to everybody listening, life isn't easy. And it's not supposed to be. Sure, there's victories and there's triumphs, but there's also losses and setbacks. But those losses and setbacks only win if you let them. So don't let them. Don't let them win. No matter what happens, keep going. Keep getting after it. So until next time, this is Echo and Jocko. Out.